Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal take on Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace this weekend as we try to stay on top of the table. And of course, we are one of the teams that are having a very, very difficult fixture. Crystal Palace are not just a good side and they're not just a difficult side when it comes to playing the big teams, but they've already beaten a big team this campaign, and that is Liverpool. But also, Crystal Palace are one of the overachievers for this campaign. They have really started the campaign very, very well. It's not about this campaign alone. Right from last campaign, winning the FA Cup against Manchester City, they're such a formidable side, and Oliver Glasner has done a very, very good job. So, as Arsenal come into this game, it is not a guarantee that we will win. It's not a guarantee that you pick up 3 points, even if it is not at the Selhurst Park. It is at the Emirates Stadium. This is a team that presses very well. This is a team that is very effective offensively through the likes of Mateta, Sarr, Adam Watson. That team is pretty much offensive, and they can score goals. They have shown that whole season. They're also very good in terms of, just pressing and making sure that they make you uncomfortable. Defensively, I will not give them a lot of credit because every time I've seen Crystal Palace, honestly, they conceded a goal. They conceded 3 against Bournemouth last weekend. And that tells you something that we will talk about when it comes to Arsenal this season. Arsenal score goals this campaign. And if you remember midweek, it was 4. So Crystal Palace, as they are porous and they can concede a goal, Arsenal could use that to their advantage. We'll be talking about how Arsenal will go to this game. We'll be talking about the predicted 11. We'll be talking about any changes that Mikel Arteta would or should make. But first, the prediction. Now, Crystal Palace for me, again, last season, they put up a very, very good structure against Arsenal. That mid-block, that very organized low block. They're such a very, very complicated side to play against. And of course, Oliver Glasner will be very, very proud of his boys. They're such a very, very organized team. But that is what I expected of Atletico Madrid. And this Arsenal team showed us something very, very, I think, very important in midweek. We have gone past the level where you think every game is going to be difficult for us, right? There was that time in 2020, 2021, 2022, where almost each and every game was difficult for Arsenal. Like, we had about maybe 6-7 games that were easy for us, like the whole campaign. But what Mikel Arteta is trying to communicate through all these wins, he goes to, he beats Simeone 4-0. And then he goes to the St. James Park and dominates. And by the time the goals come, the fans are really content that this game should be ours, right? What Mikel is trying to do there, and what he has done successfully, is he has communicated to the Arsenal fan base that you can comfortably watch games. We are now in that era where games can be easy. And for me, Crystal Palace coming to the Emirates Stadium, I don't want to take anything away from them. I don't want to take anything away from Oliver Glasner, but they have beaten Liverpool, right? They have beaten Liverpool at the Selhurst. Good performance, but a Liverpool side for me that doesn't press, a Liverpool side that didn't dominate position enough, a Liverpool side that didn't suffocate Crystal Palace enough. I don't think Arsenal is going to give Crystal Palace that holiday. If you're going to beat us, they're going to have to work very, very hard. Harder than they did against Liverpool. And they're going to be very, very disciplined defensively, through corners, aerially. I don't think, Arsenal is such a difficult team right now to play against. Like, in the air, difficult. Defensively, difficult. In midfield, difficult. So I don't even give them a chance. So I'm going to go with an Arsenal 3-1 win. Maybe this is a little bit too... maybe this is too optimistic, right? Because Palace are Palace, really. They have scored goals and they have picked up good results this campaign. But for me, a 3-1 Arsenal win at home, especially coming off the back of that 4-0 win. And also in midweek, we don't have a serious game. We do have Brighton, but we don't have Brighton in the EFL Cup. I think that is a game that Mikel Arteta can afford to rotate a few figures here and there. We could see Norgard against Brighton. We could see Kepa against Brighton. We could see Mascara against Brighton, right? So the likes of Ben White could come in against Brighton. So I'm pretty much sure, I'm sure, Arsenal can go into this game and just focus on it. And then in midweek, we do rotations and everything will be okay. 3-1 Arsenal. I am going for that. And I'm going to go with another Victor GYOKEREZ goal. I mean, I'll tell you why I've gone with another Victor GYOKEREZ goal. From midweek to another goal in over the weekend. I think the things that he has started to do right, and if he scores, then on Monday we shall do a video about Victor GYOKEREZ and how he has improved. I think he's improving in terms of positioning. As a striker, that's where you need to be. Right, the positions that he occupied when he was scoring those 2 goals against Atleti, that is where you need to be as a center forward. So what is my starting 11 and what should the starting 11 be? Should we do any changes that from the team that we saw against maybe Atletico Madrid? Probably not, in my opinion, because that was Arsenal's best. Now, when Mikel Arteta was talking about when he was talking about the team news, he actually said that Big Gabi at the end of the game wasn't feeling very, very okay. And he didn't train. He hasn't trained yet since midweek. But we shall assess him to see whether he'll be fit for that game against Crystal Palace. He's going to be a key player. And let me tell you why. Arsenal are going to need the set pieces, right? We are going to need the set pieces. Because Crystal Palace is a team that will sit in a very good shape. They have shown to us every single time that we have played them under Oliver Glasner that they're willing to sit in a mid-block, they're willing to sit in a low block and be disciplined. So set pieces, once again, they have to come into play. And of course, Big Gabi, when there is Big Gabi on the pitch, you're not safe when Arsenal have a set piece. It's as simple as that. But this is my predicted 11. Raya in goal, obviously. Gillen Timber at right back. I loved the performance of Miles Lewis-Skelly. And I don't know why, I really don't know why Lewis-Skelly played against Atletico Madrid, because I thought Ricardo Calafiore is on fire. I think he's on fire. I think he's doing everything right. Had a very good game against Fulham, obviously, as well. But then Lewis-Skelly had a fantastic game. And I'm still in between there. And I know Mikel Arteta is also still, kind of at crossroads. Do I play Skelly or on a more regular, or do I play Calafiore on a regular? So it kind of feels Skelly is playing in the Champions League and Calafiore is playing in the Premier League. I don't have a problem with that. So Ricardo Calafiore obviously could play at left back, but the problem with Ricardo Calafiore is we are going against Ismaila Sarr. That bloody little bastard is good. Right? Is good. And I'm going to need defensive assurance as well as compactness, right? And discipline. And Calafiore, when you look at the role he's occupying at Arsenal this season, he's being asked to bomb high up the pitch a lot, right? That's why he's getting into goal-scoring positions. He's creating a lot more, and he looks good. So Lewis-Skelly for me, if Mikel doesn't have a problem against Ismaila Sarr, I would appreciate that. So I'm going to go with Lewis-Skelly, but if Calafiore plays, don't have a problem. Centre backs, if Gabi is okay, then Gabi and Saliba. But if Gabi is not well, then Mosquera and Saliba. I don't know the progress of Piero Hincapié. I've not really found out. Pretty much said anything. But the injury Piero Hincapié picked up wasn't gross. Okay, so it wasn't that difficult. It wasn't that big. He should be able to fill in for Big Gabi if he's not around. But Big Gabi and Saliba should be at the Emirates Stadium by kickoff Sunday. In midfield, now Rice, Eze, and Zubimendi would definitely be my go-to, right? And I don't think I would make any changes, honestly. I don't think I would make any changes because Crystal Palace, however much you want to make me believe that we can easily beat them, they're going to be a stubborn side. Rice's energy Zubimendi's defensive prowess and intelligence, and of course, Eze's penetration. We're gonna need all that. Up top, I mean, for some reason, people are telling me Saka is back on form. Do I need to believe you? Because the one player that I'm looking at and I'm like, they're back on form is Gabi Martinelli. But is Saka back on form? You guys let me know in the comment section below. Is he back on form? Is he playing at his best like you would want him to? But of course, Saka starting. GYOKEREZ, like I said, GYOKEREZ should score. And Gabriel Martinelli. By the way, the 2 goals should come from Gabriel Martinelli, Victor GYOKEREZ, and a set-piece goal that should be scored by Gabriel Magalhaes. I think there will be a set-piece goal. I'm going to give you, I don't know, this is not a betting tip. Don't go to Champion Bet and say, Cossy said we shall score a set-piece. I've brought my money. No, I'm not saying bet on a set-piece, but I'm saying, right, I really, really think Arsenal will score a set-piece goal in this game. Now, why do I think Victor GYOKEREZ is going to score another goal? Before we get into the plumbings of the game, Victor GYOKEREZ has started doing the right things. Right. Now, he's been doing off-ball runs very well, and there are those little pockets of space that Arsenal are, utilizing better just because we have Victor GYOKEREZ. Now, when you think about Kai Havertz is not a player that wants to make those darting runs in those little pockets of space, especially on the left-hand side or right-hand side of the penalty area. He doesn't want to do that. He will either stay centrally or just drop deep and then, pick up the ball and act as a board. GYOKEREZ, on the other hand, is different. He's one of the players, he's like a proper center forward. When we are on the ball, when Eze is on the ball, when Zubimendi is on the ball, when Saka is on the ball, what he does, he makes this run, right? He doesn't come to ask the ball from them. He makes that run forward so that they can actually find him. And there's so many times that he's made that run and Arsenal haven't found him. And I'm like, can you just try your striker? Can you try to give your striker a chance? Please, okay? So he's doing the right things, right? But one of the things that he has improved is positioning. Now, when you think about Erling Haaland has a lot of tap-in goals, right? And they'll call him a tap-in merchant. But that is what a centre forward does. And it is not easy. It is courtesy of your movement. It is courtesy of your positioning. It is courtesy of how well can you lose your marker. And I think GYOKEREZ is, trying to learn that. And for me, I don't care how ugly the goals will be. I don't care how, scrambled the goals are. Just get the goals. Just simple as that. Eze is going back home. Obviously, psychologically, this is not going to be an easy one for him. You remember Declan Rice's first game against West Ham? It wasn't an easy game. Arsenal lost that game. I remember. And Declan Rice had a shitty performance. But I think Arsenal lost that game. Was it like 3-1 or 2-1, right? Jared Bowen and I don't remember. Was it Jared Bowen scoring twice? So, it was a bad performance from Arsenal, right? And Rice had a very bad game. But psychologically, for a team that has done all this for you and then for a team that has brought you up, it is understandable. But we're gonna need Eze. There's nothing to do. So he's got to go. He's got to get his composure, and we've got to move. I've talked about set pieces. I've talked about defending. Now, with set pieces, where I think they will be key, especially for the first goal, I think Palace come into this game knowing how good and how well Arsenal are at this campaign. So they'll try to suffocate the entertainment and the joy out of this game. They'll try to squeeze it out. And what that will do, eventually, it will make Arsenal feel like, oh boy, this is going to be a very difficult game. So the first goal is going to be very crucial. And we don't want to allow Crystal Palace to get the first goal. So what do? If they're suffocating you and if they're sitting in a very good shape, make sure you get as many corners as possible. Make sure you get as many free kicks as possible. And then convert one of them. Bit of like what happened against ATM. Like, ATM were comfortable. And they were like, okay, Arsenal is really, really attacking. But we can contain them. until Arsenal said, we're going to get a set piece, we're going to put it in the back of the net, and then you lot are going to come out to find an equalizer, and that's where things went wrong. So I think a set pieces are going to be very key. Wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal score even more than one set piece in this game. And then our defense is going to be crucial because, again, Palace, offensively, they scored 3 against Bournemouth. They scored 2 against Liverpool. They did score, although they lost, they did score a goal against Everton. What does that tell you? That in the last 4 games, they've consistently been on the score sheet. And they really create beautiful chances. They really create beautiful chances. They have that pattern of Watton on the ball, then he puts it in wide areas, and then, in the wide areas, obviously, you have either Ismail Issa or Munoz, and then Munoz cuts it back, and in the penalty area, you'll find Mateta, you'll find Adam Watton arriving. I love their pattern. I love Glasner. I love what he's done at that time. But what that means for Arsenal is you've got to be very careful. This is a very, very good team. And of course, it won't be an easy game. Liverpool are playing today, and they're playing good old Brentford, right? Of course, Liverpool are coming off the back of a 5-1 win from German against Eintracht Frankfurt, so they're that motivated. And I'm thinking, if Liverpool win, they come back in 1 point in a 1 point cup, right? That is, you don't want that. And we're also playing at the same time as Manchester City, who could go on top of the table if we don't win. So the nerves will be there as we approach November and December. But hang in there, hold tight. I think Arsenal win this game 3-1.